Tēnā koukou, good to see you again. It's been an interesting few days since I last blogged. There's quite a lot of stuff in the media at the moment and on the internet about some issues in our industry amongst some certain people, and I'm not really particularly going to comment on that, but it reminded me of a quote that I'd read recently, which I was going to comment on to you anyway, and so it's just quite timely when there's accusations of dishonesty and plagiarism and things like that. But again, I'm referring to this book, Robert Laidlaw, Man for Our Time, given to me by Adrian Lowe from Grange Consulting. If you join my forum for the cost of probably half a report from Adrian, you can get access to him for 12 months. He's probably the busiest of my experts in the forum at all. If you have questions to do with subdivisions or surveying and engineering and stuff, he's an absolute goldmine and loves helping people on the forum. So check it out, massiveaction.co.nz. Anyway, in 1914, Robert Laidlaw, the man who started Farmers Trading Company, which was the most successful business in the Dominion, in the British Dominion, not just in New Zealand. Incredible what he achieved. And this is what he said in 1914: "Never prostitute your faculties or energies to the accomplishment of that which is low, grovelling, and unworthy of your noblest self or unending destiny. Live above deceit. Set your face like a flint against lying, white or black. Keep your hands clean and your heart stainless. Moral honesty is comparable with business success. A Christ-like character is the sole secret of business integrity and business success. Every life has its limitation, every task its temptation, but with ceaseless vigilance and scrupulous fidelity, the very difficulties may be compelled to pay tribute to personal character, increased opportunity, and exalted victory." So it's interesting that even though this man was financially successful, an aggressive businessman, phenomenally wealthy given the time frame that he lived in compared with the rest of the country, yet things like dishonesty or honesty, integrity, infidelity were the things that drove him and that he considered to be absolutely paramount. And I think that's something that doesn't matter whether you've got one rental property or none, or whether you're a very successful businessman or investor. I can only encourage you that you'll get better results and you'll sleep better at night if you choose to pursue honesty and ethics in your business and in your investing and in everything. People talk about it. I see it plastered all over websites and different things, but in many cases it's purely there for advertising. It's known that if you use words like that in your advertising and in your business information, then people tend to trust you without there being any reason for you necessarily to be trusted. And I do have some words like that in my advertising, and I endeavour to live by them. I fail. I'm certainly not perfect, but I'm committed to them. They are a core part of my own personal values. And whenever I speak publicly, I often stop and think, is what I'm saying absolutely true? That's why I quote actual numbers and things like that, because I want to be kind of held accountable, and I encourage my wife to come and hear me speak often, because she's totally 100% honest, and so if she's listening to me speak, then she'll pull me up later and say it wasn't quite that, or sometimes I'll stop and say to her, is that right? And when I'm in the middle of speaking and preparing for the workshops that I do and stuff, I'm always making sure that what I'm giving you is actual, as true as it can be, and only stuff that I'm doing and that I know what I'm talking about. And I'm very careful with material that comes into my hands. When I got a particularly good article from Michael Yardney in Australia, just like a monthly newsletter like mine, and I wanted to quote it in my own newsletter, so I emailed him and said, hey, would it be alright if I quoted you in this thing? And so he came back and said sure, and I didn't have to do that, I could have just done it and he would probably never have known, but I think those things are important, and if we're tempted in the little things, probably the point of me talking to you this evening is that if we're tempted in the little things and we set up a double standard for ourselves, we'll end up falling in bigger things. I find sometimes I really struggle with things that are not particularly important or that are kind of imposed on us and they're unfair. You know, it's like you want to burn a CD because you want one in the car and one at home, and I think it's stupid that you can't. But on the other hand, it's illegal. You know, I've got a situation at the moment that I've been in for about a year with somebody who said they would sign something, and then when it actually came to it, they wouldn't. And we'd spent several $1,000s getting these documents prepared, and there's a number of parties involved. And now I could forge their signature, and no one would ever know, no one would get hurt, but it would solve the problem. And I really wrestled with that. I got going and thought, no, you know, I was thinking about would I do it, when I do it, because the potential consequences to other people or externally are nil. But I would know, and I could never sleep with myself again. Sleep with myself. Is that the right way to say it? You know what I mean. I could never sleep well at night knowing that I had done that. It would drive me mad. And so it's often in those little things. Same with change. You know, if I get given too much change, I go back. I've gone back on numerous occasions and walked away and gone back and shown them the till slip and said, oh, I think you've undercharged me. The jaws drop on the shop attendants. They can't believe that I do that. And to me, that's cool. And I make myself do that so that I'm not tempted to be dishonest when it comes to something bigger. Because in investing, in business, and in life, that is terminal, baby. It is absolutely. It's just, you know, go to jail, do not pass go, do not collect $200. So that's my encouragement for you this evening, as you undoubtedly read and hear about things, as many as you will. Not that they're not involving my company at all, but I just thought it was a timely reminder that these things, you can't say I'm honest and be dishonest. Eventually these things will catch you up. You can have integrity 20 foot high plastered all over your business cars and whatever other things you're doing. If it's not true, it's just paint. It's meaningless. So I do use some of those expressions and phrases in my own business because I am passionate about them, and I encourage you to pursue them as well. I do it because I'm a Christian and because I believe it's a principle of life. But I encourage you to do it because it's smart investing. Ripping people off is never good business for yourself long term. Lying to yourself and to others is never going to give you the level of success you'll have if you don't. It's interesting, if you look at a lot of the very, very successful people, the ones who are consistently the most successful and who don't have the big ups and downs are often Christians, but even if they're not, they play the game by the rules. And you can look back on the lives of some of those men, Jim Rohn and Stephen Covey, and some of the older men now of that wealth generation ilk. Never an unkind word really said about them other than the odd tall poppy syndrome. They've consistently generated wealth, you know, throughout their life, unlike, you know, Donald Trump, who's up and down, and you only have to look at look at The Apprentice or look at the way that he lives his life. Not a man of integrity. And there's many, many other examples of people like that. He's just the most prominent because he's on TV. So, you know, that's just a thought for the day, that let's pursue honesty and integrity in our lives, and that will cause us to have success in greater measure than we were expecting anyway. And other than that, I'm just finishing touches to my newsletter. Should be out tomorrow, and I'm just making some comment on there about a lot of the proposed changes that the government's thinking about bringing in to try and crucify us evil property investors. And so I'll talk to you in the blog tomorrow about what I think we need to be doing, say, in the next 6 to 12 months, not to combat or counteract those issues, but just say, okay, given the state of the market now, what do I think you should be doing in the next little period, and what should I be doing? And talk more about that tomorrow. Thanks for your time as always, and stay safe. See you soon.